to comply with CALEA standards. Disorderly behavior and rudeness to other speakers will not be tolerated. If you exhibit this behavior, you will be removed from the meeting. And if it is not your turn to speak, we ask that you keep your microphone muted. So I have my list. I can't entirely see who all is here. So I'll call a name. If you're present, you'll have your opportunity. If not, we'll move to the next name on the list. Safety Director Karen Poor. Mr. Matt Sapara, Vice President, Mercy Health. Officer Angel Tucker.
Good afternoon or good evening, everybody. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Basically, what I want to say about the Toledo Police Department is I always reference back to that officer-involved shooting in 2018. It was in the north side of Toledo, which is an under-resourced community. And there was a lot of different ways that that shooting could have went, especially when social media gets involved. If you hear a rambunctious toddler in the background, please excuse him. He doesn't know why he can't get in here. But me, myself, being from an under-resourced community, I kind of saw exactly how this could have went, but it did not go that way. And it was because of some understandings that Chief Crawl and some of his command officers, as well as his road patrol, understood some of the measures. Some didn't. Officers were told not to put on riot gear with a very intense crowd, and some of them didn't understand, but because of the trust and leadership, they did that. They were told not to respond. Beer was being poured on them. Marijuana smoke was being poured in their face. Some of them were being spat on. Some were being threatened. They maintained the line. Chief Crawl kept the SWAT team close, but out of reach. He did not break out any dogs, which would have also sparked something. If you show up in a community that's ready to fight, like you're ready to fight, they're going to fight. He did none of these things. He called the grandmother into the scene, which is very important in an under-resourced community because you find that it's more matriarchal. He understood that. He brought her in, he let her go out. He also called some community members that have an understanding of the community. And then he released the dash cam footage. That right there, it sparked something. Now in that same community, the very next day, this thing could have blown to a head, it did not. But the very next day, there was a community picnic that was planned. I don't know if Chief Crawl is privy to any of this information, but the news showed up and they wanted to interview the community. And there were members in the community that said that the police did a great job. They said that I believe in what they did and they did a great job. What I didn't know was that the community members that they interviewed, until I was told by another community member later, he said, Angel, those guys that got on the news and said that they believe in what the police did, they hate the police. They grew up selling drugs in gangs, in and out of jail. And for them to get on the news and say, I believe in what they did and they have to be safe too, and I agree, was a huge step in the right direction. Law enforcement will never get it right every time, but they got it right that day. And they created a formula. I've had interactions with Toledo Police. I'm an officer myself, but I'm from a different municipality. I've had interactions with Toledo Police and they did not know I was an officer, nor did I volunteer the information. However, even when they didn't always get the information that they wanted, because sometimes you do exercise your rights, they were respectful. And at times, you want to make sure that your police officers are capable of that. I have seen that. I've witnessed that. I've witnessed officers maintain their cool in adversity. And I just want to say, I think that is a really good step in the right direction. I've lived in Toledo all my life, and I have seen the Toledo Police improve over the decades.
Well, thank you, Angel. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, sir. Criminal Justice Coordinating Council.
Good evening, everyone. I just have some brief remarks to make this evening. Toledo Police has been a CALEA accredited police department since 2003. Under the leadership of Chief George Kroll, Toledo will continue to uphold the CALEA standards moving forward. As the executive director of the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, I have worked with the Toledo Police Department on numerous projects. The Northwest Ohio Regional Information System, NORIS, a department of the CJCC, develops and maintains the Toledo Police Department's records management system, CRS, and in-car reporting, which is integrated into CRS. NORIS is able to integrate and share law enforcement information with courts and jails through the use of the regional identifier RID. As a NORIS user, TPD has access to regional integrated queries to provide TPD access to real-time information on potential suspects. Additionally, NORIS provides a data feed to TPD's data analysis department. NORIS has also worked with TPD to develop applications such as Coppers, a portal developed to assist citizens reporting crime and accident reports, and a tool to capture and share danger assessment and law enforcement scores. I have also been a member of the Chiefs Advisory Board since 2015. The board has hosted a series of town hall meetings to solicit input from the community on the following questions. How can we make Toledo a safer place, and how can we build trust between the community and police department? Resulting from the town hall meetings, Chief Kroll, in collaboration with the board, released several reports to the community focusing on diversity, safety of the community, improving equity, and areas for improvement. Also through the board, Toledo Police Department has released 2 community relations surveys to gather input on how the department is perceived in the community and how the department can improve. The Toledo Police Department has also been engaged in local criminal justice reform initiatives, specifically the JDAI reforms through Lucas County Juvenile Court and the MacArthur Foundation Safety and Justice Challenge. Through the Safety and Justice Challenge, Lucas County has reduced its local jail population by 42% since 2016. The Toledo Police Department serves as a network leader through their historical use of citations in lieu of arrest. Approximately 70% of law enforcement activity is through citations. Most recently, the department has engaged in discussions in an alternative response to behavioral health calls for service. Toledo Police Department is also strongly committed to the development of the Care Center. The Care Center will serve as a police drop-off center for individuals with behavioral health needs and will deflect individuals out of the criminal justice system into much-needed treatment. The Toledo Police Department is involved in a multitude of local committees as well. These committees include the Domestic Violence Task Force, Domestic Violence High Risk Team, the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, the Community Corrections Planning Board, the Reentry Committee, the Behavioral Health Criminal Justice Committee, and the Burns Institute work with Juvenile Court. Thank you for your time to speak on behalf of the Toledo Police Department today. I look forward to partnering with TPD on future initiatives.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Chris Peterson, Consultant.
Hi, everyone. I work with the Toledo Police Department in a variety of ways. So I just wanted to share a little about what I know to be true and what I know that the department is working on in the way of community support. First thing I should tell you is that I am the secretary of the Toledo Police Foundation, and the Toledo Police Department, working with the foundation, has been able to come up with some very unique programs to reach into our community to provide both safety with a project called Shot Spotter, that the foundation has been able to help them fund and put into place to be able to keep our community safer. When they were noticing that there were places around our community that had been inundated with shootings, had an inordinate number of shootings there, this piece of equipment is something that is helping them to be able to get where they need to be very quickly and not have to rely on phone calls from the community as well to get there. So that's been something that's been exciting, as well as several community projects like an ice cream truck that has been outfitted for the Toledo police officers to go into neighborhoods and just develop relationships with our community members, to be able to give them free ice cream and have them see police officers in a positive light. That has been something that has been very well received by our community. And it has been something that has helped them to develop relationships with people in neighborhoods where police aren't always trusted. So they've gone above and beyond by looking for opportunities to take the ice cream truck to community picnics and other places where they knew there would be large amounts of people that they could affect. And that's been really fun too. Now, they're also very involved in athletics with our youth and mentoring programs there. And that's been an important part of the Toledo Police Department as well. So their community outreach has been incredible. Our foundation is new, so we are looking for new ways to raise money and partner with them to be able to do even more reaching into the department, including a wellness program for our officers who are really working very hard and making a lot of sacrifices right now to be able to provide the safety that our community needs. Also wanted to talk to you about a leadership project that we are working on with the Toledo Police Command Officers. We're putting every command officer through a 3-day leadership project so they can learn situational leadership as well as look at their strengths. And they're looking at doing a visual literacy program as well. So they are learning a lot of really great leadership skills that they can use within the department and also within the community as they are out in uniform among our people. I will say that as a person that also worked in the media for 20 years, our department is very open to media. Chief Krall does not shy away. You heard Angel Tucker talking about that shooting. That was a huge opportunity for Chief Krall to reach and bridge, and he did that. And not only doing that with the community members, but also with the media, being able to get information out as quickly as possible. And it's not just that incident. That wasn't an isolated incident. He does this every time. He is very open. They give whatever information they can, and they work very well with the media in our community to make sure that our community members are informed about things that are going on within the department and within our community. They are also involved in a lot of the projects that we do community-wide. This year, we launched something called the V Project, trying to get our community vaccinated. Chief Krall is a member of that committee as well, and is looking for ways outside the box to keep people safe and to help people get vaccinated against COVID. So that's been a great fun project too. I will also say that for the past 28 years, I have been the honorary chair of the Komen Race for the Cure. Until COVID, this was something that brought about 20,000 people downtown every year to raise money for breast cancer. And Toledo Police provide our protection and security for that event, and they do it for free. They do not charge us, they volunteer, and they do an outstanding job and help in the community. I know our event is not the only one they do that for, but I know that they are very ingrained in our community and that they care very deeply for the people and for the projects that we have going on here. So that's all I have to say. I may have gone over my 5 minutes. I'm sorry if I did. I do tend to talk a little long, but I am just very impressed and grateful for the support that our community gets from Toledo Police.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson.
Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Nick Sauber, Mercy St. Vincent Medical Center.
Hi, thanks so much for the opportunity to speak today. I'm Dr. Nick Sauber. I'm the EMS Medical Director for the City of Toledo and serve as the EMS Medical Director for the Toledo Police Department and the Tactical Medical Team. I've been interacting with Toledo Police for the last 4 years now, both as an emergency medicine physician in the hospital when folks are brought in when they're having a really bad day, as well as through the fire department and as a medical advisor for multiple projects. things such as the opioid pandemic. A group of our residents came together and said, what can we do to help with the opioid pandemic? We worked with the police department and with some of their exceptional officers. We developed a program to not only give the Narcan to folks when they need it, but also to provide the equipment and the training to provide rescue breathing. So we're giving these folks that have had a really bad day and overdosed a chance to get oxygen into their brain while they're getting that medication to reverse their opioid overdose, as well as what can we do beyond that? Counseling, plugging them into care, and responding to them. And I've seen an exceptional amount of compassion. Growing up in a law enforcement family, I was raised by a cop, and I did most of my training in Baltimore through the Freddie Gray riots and seeing the good, the bad, and otherwise of law enforcement. And I've seen incredible compassion with Toledo Police when they bring in individuals, whether they're in custody, whether they're helping someone out who's had a bad day, who needs medical care. And the compassion, the ability of them to relate to folks despite their demographics or what's happened has really been moving. Speaking of the violence we saw in the last couple of years and the officers involved shootings, the police department has taken a step above and created a tactical medical team, which are officers that are EMT trained, embedded within the department that can be those first response officers to provide that medical care, whether it's a civilian or, in worst case scenario, an officer that may be injured in these high threat scenarios or just in their day-to-day road work. They can provide that care. So we train those officers. We work with the fire department. We work with local hospitals to provide that training, as well as the critical response unit from Mercy Health, all to bring this wraparound care to give officers the best chance of coming home at the end of the day, as well as to provide the best medical care, at least in those first seconds to minutes for these civilians. So it's been an honor to work with this department, and I look forward to a bright future with Toledo Police.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, sir. Bill Murray. Sorry, Carol Schwartz.
I have no role here other than I saw some information for this and was curious about the accreditation process.
Okay, thank you for attending, Carol. We appreciate it. Dr. Tana Schuer, PhD, Schuer Consultant. Mr. Matt Sapara.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
So I apologize, I'm a few minutes late. Unfortunately, we're dealing with some challenges right now on the COVID front here at St. Vincent. So I appreciate the opportunity to say a couple words about about Toledo Police and the role that they played with Mercy, here in the community in a couple different fronts. Let me start by saying that St. Vincent is located in a very challenged area in downtown Toledo. We have one of the lowest per capita income census tracts in the entire state of Ohio. We just have a significant amount of challenges. Gunshot wounds, those kinds of traumatic type of events frequent our emergency room literally on a daily basis. We do have a sworn department here at Mercy. They are campus police officers. There is a very small contingent of them. We generally have 3 to 4 officers working on any given shift. And I'm here to tell you it is never enough. We are challenged literally on a daily basis. The relationship we have with TPD extends much more beyond just calls for service. When we have an issue in our emergency room, the relationship that our ED docs, myself have with Chief Crawl and people on his team, they are here literally within seconds to make sure that our perimeter is secure and that our doctors and nurses, our clinicians are able to treat that person that's been injured. And literally, this is an everyday event. And in no way do they have any obligation to do that. They do it because it's the right thing to do. And I think that that's an important separator between Chief Crawl, his team, and others out there. He goes above and beyond. So that's just one example that I get to see on a daily basis. But beyond that, with the COVID challenges that we faced, our community, like many others, has faced just challenges associated with people getting vaccinated. When all of this started, Chief Carl was one of the first leaders to stand up and say that this is the right thing to do. He came to one of our clinics, very publicly got vaccinated, and our emergency medicine personnel are some of the highest rates in the state in terms of getting vaccinated, and that's attributable to his leadership. And everyone knows Chief. Everyone is just kind of respects the man for whom he is. And him stepping up and doing that, that's something that I will always remember, because he was one of the few that did it. There were a handful of others, but Chief Carl did it. And that's something that is just very prevalent in his department because of his leadership. So I'll stop there. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Sorry to babble on. Sorry that I'm a half hour late too. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Matt. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to address us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mike Bryce, City Editor, The Toledo Blade. Sean Nestor.
Yes, much like Ms. Schwartz, I'm just here to observe, so I have no statement.
Okay, thank you for joining us, Sean.
Welcome.
Darcy Miller. Aaron Collins. Hello, sir. Yes.
I'm sorry. Now, how's this? Is this any better?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I've got a little different perspective. Let me turn this down a little bit. I record government agencies, government officials, medical scenes, fire scenes out at night. I'm a stringer. I've sold stuff internationally, and I am finding Toledo police are not as accommodating to those of us that aren't part of the legacy media. By that I mean, within their own media relations policy, the Chapter 5, I believe it is. Yeah, Chapter 5. Let me pull it up real quick. There are a myriad of different things in here, one of which, 5.3, says, I take the risk myself. I have had police put their hands on me and move me multiple times away from a scene after a scene's been deemed over, while I'm 30, 40 feet away still, because I'm recording. They call me by name. They know what I'm doing. They block my cameras with their vehicles, with their flashlights, and when they're warned doing so is against the law, there's case precedent for it. I get the response of, so what if they are? I am on a regular basis prevented from doing something that I really enjoy doing, something that I disseminate. I give out free stuff too. And for instance, Ms. Peterson might want to look into Officer Fonseca. She's a wonderful officer. She's new to the force, only been on the force about 6 months. I gave away a video that would cost me thousands of dollars to give away because it was such a good video. It's Officer Fonseca playing basketball with a kid out in the street after a call. I've got another one of her that I put on my channel. I have a YouTube channel. And the consensus of people that do First Amendment audits, constitutional audits, is that we're troublemakers. I don't say a word to anybody until someone speaks to me. I've been pushed, blocked. I've presented with case law and state code and state law and still get pushed, blocked, interfered with on a regular basis. I can't get records that I've requested body camera footage because it's taken too long because there's not the funding there to have anyone to do it. They need to get somebody on the street, someone that's on the street, off the street in plain clothes, to be able to do this function. It's a great disservice to the community that I can't get body cam footage to protect myself and defend myself in my own case. I've got a pro se case coming up that I'm still waiting for the body camera footage. It's been over 3 months and it's probably going to be gone. So proof that I can exonerate myself is gone. And now, of course, we go to court, and officers tend to have a little bit more believability than someone that might have a record or someone that's going in for an issue. But when we try to get our information based on state law, based on Toledo police policies, we're met with resistance. The mayor's in on it. Chief Craw's in on it. I've contacted Chief Craw for months. Refuses to talk to me, refuses to respond by email. Same thing with the mayor's office. Same thing with all their deputies. Deputy Chief Sue Sergo says we can't be inside. The media's not allowed to be. Looks like you guys are sitting in the safety building, correct? I'm not allowed to take a camera in there.
Yes.
I was accosted right behind you in front of the safeties records office by a Sergeant Garcia. These things are happening, and people can't show what's really happening because we don't have access to the information. In accordance with TPD's own policy, April of this year, Chief Craw said we have an unlimited storage space for all of our body camera footage. Why is it being deleted after 30, 60, 90 days? It should be accessed a little bit longer so we can actually have the time to get it, because there's no one processing it. We can't get it and we lose it. It's a huge disservice to the city of Toledo. Its citizens, the people that work in it, live in it, drive through it. I would like to see some help with that. That's why I'm here, so we can discuss it. Sergeant Kurgan, we had a nice talk earlier, and I appreciate your time and your help. The policy, it was 54.1.3 is the one that TPD is to be accredited through with CALEA. And within their own policy, they're not following it. Anywhere from the whole Chapter 5 section. It's violated on a regular basis, and I would really like to see that corrected. And I have the receipts to back it up. I have a whole bunch of video and emails, so I'm accessible. Sergeant Kurgan's got my name, my number, email address, and I'm available.
Well, thank you for your remarks.
Thank you, sir. The last name we have, Sergeant Dan Rabb, Toledo Police Command Officers Association. Sergeant Rabb, are you going to speak at all? Okay. Was there anyone I missed?
And I officially declare the meeting closed at 4:36 p.m.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. We appreciate the comments.
Thank you very much.
So you're going to send me a new link, right?
Yep, in about a minute or two.
Yeah, okay.
Well, there you have it, guys. See how many of them didn't show up? Sergeant Rabb, he said you want to talk. That means Sergeant Rabb was there. Sergeant Rabb and I have a history. He's one of those guys that was one of those plain clothes, or no, they're in the black vehicle that he was in the black vehicle that pulled up and jumped out on me like there was something out the safety building. When was this? Around March or May. But yeah, we see what happens. I mean, how many of them? There was what, 3 or 4 officers that chose not to speak, chose not to attend. We have now the reason I said legacy media, that Chris Peterson, she is part of the legacy media locally. She's a huge name in Toledo. Her face is all over ProMedica advertisement. She's all over the place. She's a very nice lady. I've dealt with her before. She's a very nice lady. Then we have Holly Matthews asking, how can the community do this and do that? Hello, I'm community. Like, I've been reaching out, but had the door slammed on my face repeatedly by every single person in that department that can do something about what is actually freaking happening within the streets, within their officers. Like I said, I've got the receipts to back it up. I got emails upon emails and phone calls. I could show you guys all kinds of stuff to prove it. Let's see here. Let's see. This is an email I sent to Chief Craw and the mayor's office. And this is case law. Situations happening with me. why I'm allowed to do what I'm doing, why they're not allowed to do what they're not doing, or why they're not allowed to do what they're doing. This one in particular is to the mayor, and I reworded it a little bit to fit the actual chief of police when I sent it to him, and Deputy Chief Susurgo, all the deputies there. They don't want actual effective change. They want to look good. And this CALEA accreditation is to make them look good. That's exactly right, Cindy. Yeah, and Clinton, this is had I not been there, it'd have been, oh, everything is great. Here you go, here's your reaccreditation. This might slow things down a little bit. And by the way, that video is public record. It'll be a day or two before they get the copy of it from the gentleman that was recording it, which is why I had my OBS recording, streaming it, so we have a copy of it here. I was recording it on my phone. I was also recording it on another PC, so I got we got it all. It's not going to disappear. But it's a total ass kissing fest, and there's no one in the community that even really knew about it. Only people that knew about it are within their department, their organization. It didn't go out on their Facebook page. It didn't go out anywhere except for a flyer on the door of the safety building. And the only reason I seen it is because I was there to get records. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't have known about it. They don't put these things out on, and oh look, here's our agenda for the day or for the week. It doesn't freaking happen. So the fact that this kind of crap happens, we don't know about it. We don't get information on it. In case you're reading this, I'll move it down a little bit. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I completely make my window smaller here. I'm sorry, guys. So this is, I'm sitting here, here's an email, and I got it blocked. So, but this is an email that I sent to the mayor. Like I said, I reworded it for the chief as well. It's got case law. It's got Supreme Court, not just like Ohio or First Circuit, 11th Circuit, because we're the 6th Circuit. I don't have the 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 11th Circuit rulings in here because, we're the 6th. I put Supreme Court cases, which cover every circuit, covers the 6th Circuit. And I got zero response from anybody in the mayor's office, zero response from anybody in the chief's office. I got nothing from anybody. So I will be contacting Miss Holly Matthews and Chris Peterson. I spoke with Sergeant Kurjan earlier. Nice guy. He gave me the information right away. It wasn't fighting tooth and nail. So I honestly feel that he might be able to help me within their process. But he's just the data collector. I hate to say this, no offense, Sergeant. He's basically a data processor. That's what he's doing here. He's had it for the last year. It's his first time doing this. So that doesn't mean that we should treat him any less different than anybody else. But I do give him the benefit of the doubt because he has, and the respect that he's earned already. He's already earned that. But what we need to do as a community is find when these meetings are going on. Typically, this would have been a town hall meeting. It would have been in the city council chambers, and we'd be up in person, be able to look eye to eye with these people. But unfortunately, being a Zoom call, it's a little bit different. You can't read body language. You can't look and see who's just throwing their head up like, oh my God, whatever, up in the air kind of thing. You can't see that, and it called them out on it on the spot, which is what I would prefer to do. But yeah, guys, this is just more, $20,000 the city of Toledo is spending on this. Did I put it up? Did I pull it up here? Yeah. $20,000 the city of Toledo is spending on this accreditation, and the community has no idea that this is going on right now. And this is upsetting. I'm not very happy that I had to, this information should have been put up online, but I had to actually file a request to be in this meeting and get the information. I don't like that. This is a public meeting. I should be able to do it, anonymously. Well, I did so, but I signed in on my phone under my real name, and I signed in on my computers under like Great Lakes Audits and Great Lakes News Now and stuff like that. So to be able to speak, you have to actually sign up, and that would be like a sign-in sheet when you get to the meeting. So that's the same thing, but just good citizen. Just put a number down. Just call me 5, whatever. But yeah, this is ridiculous, man. That all we heard here was a whole bunch of oh, they're so great, they're lovely, they're amazing, they're wonderful, when on a regular basis, I am accosted, other people are accosted. I have videos of people, victims, I have body camera footage of victims of crimes having to be searched and identified, even though they don't want to be identified, even though if we're not leaving until we search you. What law is that? I've got that body camera footage. There's a lot of stuff that I am sitting on that I am about to release because I'm getting nowhere. I'm trying to be diplomatic about it. I'm not trying to make a bunch of money on YouTube. I'm not trying to, have the best channel in the world or the most popular. I am trying to fix things. This is actually trying to affect change. All right, let's be clear. I'm not trying to make money. I got a job. I am trying to affect change. I am working with Department of Transportation representative in California. I'm working with an organization in Connecticut. I'm working with an organization in Florida. I'm working with an organization in Michigan. All this on my own time. All this free. So when I'm irritated. I'm really irritated. So make it a point to find out who's in charge of these things within your own community. If they have an accreditation that they go through, find out who that representative is, state or federal. This is the CALEA is a 501c3 coast to coast organization, and there's a lot of money there. That's $20,000 for the city of Toledo for their accreditation. I'm not sure if that's for the first part or the renewal, or if it just doesn't matter. But what we need to do is get involved. More than just pulling your camera out. Yes, record the scenes if you can. And if you can't get involved in this level, you don't have the ability to take the time to do it because of your work schedule. Like me, my work schedule allows me to do stuff during the day. I get several days a week where I can do stuff like this on my own time without harming family time. So that's the best part of it. Just don't hurt your family time. My kids go to school. With my wife's work schedule, my work schedule, I have time during the day where I can do this kind of stuff, and it does make a difference when you can form work relationships with people. I have, for instance, I received an email from a lady in California. We talked for a couple hours about what's going on with her department, and they're working on a new program and stuff. And typically, you don't get responses from these people too often. A great 2-hour conversation. I get an email, happy Thanksgiving, hope everything's great for your family. Send one back. We got talking about birthdays, and so there are wonderful people out there. We just have to find them and utilize them for one, for their knowledge in their department, and two, not as a pawn, but as a partner in fixing things. Because most of those people like that are good-hearted people that want the right thing. There are several officers in the Toledo Police Department that are like that. I could name them right now, but I don't want to because I don't want them to be shunned or ostracized by the people in their own department, which is sad if you think about that. Good cops, like I can tell you, these are good cops. I have seen it firsthand. Officers, instead of writing citations, instead of arresting people, instead of doing things that would, cost someone possibly their job or their at least a day's pay, having to go to court, they have talked to them. They have counseled them in a community way. Like, you would want your best friend's mom. Like, you did something stupid, you don't want to talk to your mom. Like, hey, Mama Pat, I screwed up. I need some help. I got you. That's what I've seen these officers do on a regular basis. Not just once, but multiple times. They've treated me with respect. They didn't put their hands on me like some of these other guys. So build those relationships out there, If it's in an office environment and, you're just going to do records requests for somebody, you're scared to get the camera out because you don't want to go to jail. You don't want to get beat up. You don't want to get tased or what have you. That's fine. If there's an auditor in your community that you can help out, reach out. Hey, man, I'm on disability. I'm not doing nothing. I'll do some paperwork for you. I'll help you out with this. Grow that relationship. The more of us that are doing these things, the better. I've got really good relationships with multiple auditors in multiple states. I'm talking Texas, Georgia, California, Michigan. I'm working on building another one, the New York, Connecticut, Virginia area, you know, and that's what this community is about. So find out when these things are, find people in your area that can actually help you, you know, within these departments. And sorry, Cindy, I just contempt of a corrupt judge in LaPorte. Wow. What? Are you serious? So you did 48 hours for contempt of court. The judge was a half hour late. The prosecutor never showed up and you go to jail? That sounds to me like that should have been a dismissed case. Like they didn't want to pursue it. That's insane. Yeah, man. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. This is great. I read that comment, made me laugh because I've been very, very close to contempt of cop. I've been cited for contempt of cop and almost been arrested for contempt in court. So very, very close a couple times. Like if I would have breathed too loud, I'd have probably been with some new silver bracelets that were stuck behind my back. But you guys, I appreciate you coming out. This Zoom is going to stay up live. I'm going to leave it there. I'm about to go rewatch it, take down some names of all of those that didn't show up, and I'm going to start questioning them as to why. Sergeant Rab. You know, you guys want to see Sergeant Rab? Let's find Sergeant Rab. Let's see here. Where is that one at? Sorry about that, guys. I am so sorry. Is this Sergeant Rab? Nope. But they're taking the... That's Lieutenant Trudeau. I don't have these ones labeled. Are you serious? I'm going to pull my media player over here. All right, guys. So... nope, I remember him. Yeah. Sue Sergo refuses to let me in that building recording. I wasn't planning on doing this. That's 1.5 minutes long. Which one is that? That's 2.5. That was a very long one. It was a couple hours long. I'm reading your comments here. What is this? You're a witness? No way. Yeah, I've been wanting to reach out to Justin Pulliam and what is the other one? Damn it, there's another one. I can't remember his name right now. But I had been in talks with Impact 18360 about a story. So we'll see how this goes. We're working on body camera footage and things like that, which I can't freaking get because there's no one processing it unless someone's hurt. Oh, it's so freaking annoying, man. I mean, here it is. All right, guys. Let me just zoom. All right, Sergeant Rab should be coming up. I'll go back around the side. This is the first denial. This guy's actually a nice guy. He's the one that took the report. Here's Sergeant Rab. The police vehicle's parked. So, before I go any further, that guy that was in the doorway, we had a talk while I was filing up my report for the assault by the sheriff's deputy. It's actually a pretty decent guy to talk to. Now, the way I was treated at the door, he's just following his rules. There's actually a little note posted up on the wall that says, per the mayor and Lieutenant whatever numbnuts' name was, no media is allowed in there. So, yeah, this is Sergeant Rab, guys. Let me just play this for you.
Can I ask a quick question? Who would I talk to about this car running for like 25 minutes now? And then these 12 cars parked in a no parking spot. Well, who would I talk to about that? These are police vehicles parked and posted no parking signs on both sides from end to end. It clearly says no parking Tuesday to Friday on that sign and on this sign right here, buddy.
Right here.
So who would I talk to about that being it's Wednesday?
Being it's Wednesday?
Yeah.
What does the day of the week matter?
It says Tuesday through Friday, so Wednesday falls between Tuesday and Friday, correct?
Yeah, you're correct.
That's what I'm asking. Because if I just had another officer parked over there and a clearly parked or marked no parking sign, just because he couldn't find parking. I found a ton of parking at Quick.
Well, I don't know if it's because he couldn't find parking or because this is for police officers.
Well, he told me he couldn't find parking over there, and it's actually a mail carrier position or spot anyways. So I'm trying to figure out who would I talk to about that.
I guess you could call, there's nobody's going to talk to. You can talk to Park Smart. Park Smart does parking.
Park Smart,
Yeah.
not the police department, to make sure that their people follow the laws like we have to.
Well, we are allowed to park here. The police operations
It's
park.
posted no parking.
While they're working, correct.
That doesn't say while working or between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. or anything like that.
And it does say temporary.
Temporary.
Yeah, well, when they're here working, they usually take up this whole area up to there, but they didn't today.
If I were to park there, what would have happened?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Lies.
I've been ticketed for doing just that.
Well, you asked me a question, I
But,
answered.
well,
You want to question my answer?
No, I'm not questioning your answer. I'm just saying my personal experiences.
Park there, and I said nothing.
All right, so I can bring my van over here and park it?
Yes, you could.
I'll get a ticket, but it's all right. I'm trying to figure it out because there's a vehicle over here running.
You're just here
For-
trying to antagonize the police.
No, I'm trying to make sure that the police department follows their own rules that we have to follow.
Where is it that you work?
It doesn't matter where I work. I am not a public official. I am not doing my duties. I do not have to answer any questions.
Then if you don't have to answer your questions, I don't have to answer your questions.
Rab, Kay?
Yep.
So I'm trying to get information about all the information. I can't even get records because they're closing. They're not going to call me back. So I come down there to find out why.
Well, you sound like
And no one's
you're
answering me.
all down. Have a good day.
Just trying to get some answers. So who would I talk to about this vehicle over here running for 25 minutes?
Have a good day, sir.
You too. Be safe. Obey your oath. You didn't signal when you turned.
His attempt to intimidate failed quickly.
Good idea. Have a good day, guys. Your brake light's out.
And they loop back around the block a couple times. So that's
So now-
Brad. I don't know if he just didn't want to talk because
Car 170 is still sitting here running.
he's not there. But like he
Oh, I'm
was
sorry.
there.
No, it's
He
141.
said,
What's
"Brad,
wrong
you
with me?"
wanna talk." I wonder if it's because I need to come to neighbors.
My feet are on the sidewalk.
All right, guys, that's the kind of stuff
Oh,
that,
he's
you
on the-
know, just asking questions. I can't get any answers, so you know what? Let's ask these guys. They're knowledgeable, right? Cindy, you are absolutely correct. Body cameras and on the Freedom of Information Act, which in Ohio it's called the Sunshine Law, has done a great service for the community. Excuse me, has done a great service to the community. And it's exposing things that need to be corrected within the department. So this is Ohio's actual Sunshine Law. There's their manual, the training manual. I've had to use this. I've actually sent this to individuals that were refusing to assist me. Refusing to assist me. So the auditor's office doesn't handle any issues that you have with local agencies. It's now I think it's a clerk. I can't remember what it is. I have it written down, but seeing this meeting just made me realize how uninformed our community is, because we have community activists that would have easily jumped in that panel to expose what they've gone through, what their people they protect have gone through, what the homeless have gone through in the city of Toledo. The homeless get picked on quite a bit. I've got some footage of one. Now, to be fair, the guy was criminally trespassed from a facility. He returned, was told to leave. He was on the sidewalk. If they don't own the sidewalk, he can be there. So he walked down the street, probably about half a block, and then The police just left him alone. But they went and they parked lights out in the corner, and every time this guy would get up to walk, they turned the lights on. Clear intimidation. Clear intimidation. I talked to the man. I gave him some money, gave him some food, gave him some drink. And like, dude, they're sitting down there. You need to just book it, go a different direction, cross street. You just get away from this facility and their property, because their property is this entire block. So if you were to just sit down and put your hand back on it, even though it wasn't intentional, the law requires it to be intentional, you're going to get hemmed up, and he didn't want that. So he moved on, and I walked down to go to see the police, and hey, how you doing? And they just took off. So these numbers, although they're on this booklet, they're not quite who you would call anymore, and that's sad, but it wasn't too hard to find. Guys, I'm going to call it. This is something else. So like no description, no, it's unlisted. I mean, that's Garcia thing. Guys, I appreciate you being here. I'm not done with this. I'm going to get a list of everyone that was there, and then I'm going to inquire, one, if their timesheet says they were here for it, like Sergeant Rab would be paid to be here, and if he said he was here but he didn't get paid, or he got paid for it but he wasn't there, or can't prove he was there, that's something else that needs to be addressed. But that's irritating, man. They don't want any accountability. I would have loved for the chief of police to actually have been here. He's the CEO of the Toledo Police Department. Yes, CEO. I would like him to have been here, or the deputy chief, like his deputy chief Sue Sergo, or the mayor, or one of his deputies, someone in that higher up been here. But it appears that they weren't. I'm going to look into it further to see if they were. And I have my 5 minutes, but I'm not done with that. And as of right now, I am. You know what I need to do? I know how to get a phone number of somebody, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to call her and see if she would talk, if the former Legacy Media would talk to an independent. So, guys, I appreciate you being here. That's Great Lakes Audits. This is the that was the Zoom accreditation for CALEA. This organization right here that cost the city of Toledo $20,000, because there's over 1,000 employees. Yeah, guys, I thank you for being here. I really do. Clinton, Cindy, I seen Topher Life, Heather. There's someone that wasn't here. I seen you, Scott. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. I think I seen Steph too. Yep, Steph. F off. What's up? Thanks from Canada, or thanks to Canada for watching, guys. World Citizen News was never here. All right. Take care of yourself and each other.